everyone, and here's our devotional for Saturday, October 6th, 2018. And I want you to let me know if you've enjoyed these devotions as much as I have. I think next year, because I've got so many devotional books, I'm like, what do? I'm like a kid at Christmas. I don't know which toy to play with first, and it's like there's so many at my disposal. And I'll probably just end up taking peeks at different ones maybe, but I think that, because this year I'm doing, as you remember, the Come Away My Beloved devotional, but I think I might do this one next year, because this one is really, really speaking to me. I really am very, very blessed by these. So anyway, enough rambling for now. Here's our devotional for Saturday, October 6th, 2018. Reason not to fear. I will obey God's voice. While he was still speaking, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and suddenly a voice came out of the cloud, saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear him." And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their faces and were greatly afraid. But Jesus came and touched them and said, "Arise, and do not be afraid." Matthew 17:5-7. Peter distinguished himself among the disciples as the most outspoken of them all. Jesus took 3 of them, his most intimate friends, Peter, James, and John, up on a high mountain. At the top of the mountain, they saw Jesus changed before their eyes to his heavenly glory. He was accompanied by 2 men, Elijah and Moses. In great zeal and passion, Peter burst out, "We should build 3 tabernacles here to commemorate these 2 men who have come." A loud, booming voice spoke from the bright light that enveloped Christ. "This is my Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." All 3 of the disciples fell flat on their faces onto the ground. The message was clear. You are not to worship created beings, even if they are shining brightly, or even if they appear out of heaven. You are to worship, fear, be in awe of Christ alone. My dad had a distinct voice. It was deep, forceful, and influential. I can still hear it in my head today. Well, my dad's voice isn't quite like that, but I guess it can be sometimes. Anyway, whenever he spoke to me, his voice always captured my attention. But despite the fact that my dad and I often talked and even disagreed about issues, I still loved to hear his voice. However, there were a few times when his voice ignited fear in me. All 3 of the disciples realized they were in the presence of Almighty God. I would have been afraid too, and I would also... Oops, hold on. My fish oil alarm. Okay, let's read that sentence over. I would also have fallen on my face to the ground. Isn't that what happens to you when you finally become fully aware of God's majesty, of his lordship? A reverential I'm my mother's daughter. A reverential fear falls over you when God's voice speaks to you. Refuse the worship of other gods and idols in your life. What are you trusting in today? Your financial portfolio, your status, your bank account, your insurance policies, your possessions, your education, intellect, charm, or abilities. Everything of this world can be wiped away, gone in an instant. Only Christ is the everlasting rock. Isaiah 26:4. Just as my dad's voice was distinct, so is God's. Listen for it. Recognize it. Obey it. You know what? When I look at my life sometimes, and I look down through the years, and even in the almost 24 years that I've been a Christian, I can honestly say that, I lived with Rhonda for a while, in one place, and then I, lived with Mom for years, and I was at the school for the blind in different times. Everywhere that I have been, now that I'm married and I'm here with Jeff, everywhere that I have been, there has been Jesus. You know what? I might not have had anybody else familiar around me. I remember one time I went with a ministry team to Arizona for 2 weeks. And it scared me kind of, because the people I was with were people that I knew, but I didn't know what was going to happen or who I would come across or whatever. But always with me was Jesus. He was always there. He always just, helped me to calm down and not be afraid. And he was always just there with me to help me with whatever I needed. And it's just amazing. I look at my entire life and think, man, God is so much bigger than anyone or anything I could put my trust in. So Lord, help us to put our trust only in you. So, hope you all enjoyed these, and may the Lord bless you all and be with you till tomorrow.